Hi, and welcome to another week's Tips for AI Trailblazers. I'm Kathleen Perley, your host and founder of Demystify. This week, we're going to explore some new features of the ChatGPT app on your desktop. I'm using a Mac, so it's operating on OS. So let me go ahead and get you started. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to really leverage this app to help navigate different software systems. Really think of it as like a personal trainer or assistant when it comes to this type of work. So when you're in your ChatGPT app, know that you do need to make sure that you're upgrading it and it is the most recent version. And to do that, you simply open up your ChatGPT app on your desktop and go to this in the header, so ChatGPT, and then check for updates. If you have one, if you don't see the kind of these 3-line voice feature that we use for advanced voice, it might be because you're missing out on an update. So just simply update and then reopen the app. So let's get started. So what I'll do is I'll activate the advanced voice feature to have it really help me navigate how to analyze and build a pivot table based on this company's cupcake data. So let's do this. So we'll just press this button here, these kind of like lines next to the microphone, and we will get our advanced voice. Hi, I have Excel open and I'm looking at a spreadsheet that has data around cupcake sales. The columns are cupcake type, number of cupcakes, total cost, city, state, age of buyer, and gender of buyer. And I'm trying to figure out how to build a pivot table so I can understand, is there any kind of tendencies between gender and the type of cupcake they buy?
To analyze tendencies between gender and cupcake type using a pivot table, follow these steps. 1. Select any cell in your data range. Go to the Insert tab on the ribbon and select Pivot Table. In the Create Pivot Table window, ensure your data range is correct and choose where you want the pivot table to be placed. Usually, starting in a new worksheet is best. Click OK. In the Pivot Table field list on the right, drag Gender of Buyer to the Rows area.
Okay,
6.
hold on real quick. I can't find an insert where it has pivot table. Do I just select table first?
It sounds like you might be using a different version of Excel, but no worries. If you don't see Pivot Table directly under Insert, you can follow these steps. First, find any cell in your data range. Then, go to the Insert tab on the ribbon. Look for an option called Pivot Table or Table. If you only see Table, go ahead and click it. And then in the Create Table dialog box, ensure the My Table Has Headers checkbox is checked, then click OK. Now, with any cell in your table selected, go back to the Table Design or Design tab on the ribbon. Here, you should find the Summarize with Pivot Table option. Click it to create your pivot table. Once you've done that, you can follow the steps I previously mentioned to set up your pivot table. Let me know if you need more help.
So if I wanted to do the pivot table and on gender and cupcake type, what would be the correct selection of ranges, or do I select the entire table?
For creating a pivot table that analyzes gender and cupcake type, it's best to select the entire table. This ensures you include all relevant data for your analysis. Here's how to do it. Click on any cell within your data range to ensure Excel recognizes the full range of your table. Then, go to the Insert tab and select Pivot Table. In the Create Pivot Table dialog, your entire table range should be automatically selected. If not, you can manually select it by clicking and dragging across all your data, including headers. 4. Click OK to create the pivot table. By selecting the entire table, you ensure all necessary columns are available for your analysis, allowing you to explore the relationship between gender and cupcake type. Let me know if you need further guidance.
Once I get into the pivot table, it tells me it has I'm seeing pivot table fields with all of my fields above it with different sections for filters, columns, rows, and values. How would I go about that?
Great. Now that you're in the pivot table fields area, here's how to set it up to analyze the relationship between gender and cupcake type. 1. Drag gender of buyer to the rows area. This will list the genders in the rows of your pivot table. Drag cupcake type to the columns area. This will create a column for each type of cupcake. 3. Drag number of cupcakes to the values area. This will show the total number of cupcakes sold for each type broken down by gender. This setup will give you a table showing the total number of each cupcake type purchased by each gender. If you want to see the data in a different way, like the average number of cupcakes per purchase or the total cost, you can change the field in the values area accordingly.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your help. So as you can see, this is a great way to navigate in real time using advanced voice within the ChatGPT feature on your desktop. Now, one of the other things I really love is that you will get this detailed overview once you close out of the voice feature where you can actually see the specific steps that it has taken. This is something that I think will be very valuable for any business owner who's really looking to train new employees on their own specific software in a way that's really useful and helpful. So as we talk about AI agents, this is definitely the very first step to moving forward towards these agentic futures and frameworks that we will be seeing. Hope you join us next week for more tips for AI trailblazers.